Interested in ancestral healing through altered states? Then this video is for you. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things bridging mental wellness and spirituality for nurses. I often have conversations with people of all different races and ethnic backgrounds, different cultures and traditions. And sometimes folks are kind of surprised when I tell them that we all have ancestral healing that needs to happen. I know it might be a challenge, and I remember when I was going to school, I took an anthropology class. The professor one day, like at the beginning of the course, had all these people in the class, or maybe there was like 100 of us, just a very like basic 111 anthropology course. And he was like, okay, who here in the classroom has culture? And there were literally 5 of us that put our hands up in the entire classroom. And he was shocked, but not surprised, because going to school in like a very rural area, this was just sort of the way that people perceive their cultural heritage. It really put an emphasis on the fact that many people don't think they have culture. And so there's a bit of a disconnect from their ancestral lineage. It's really important to understand, though, that we all carry our ancestors' trauma, intergenerational traumas, the things that have happened to all these different cultural groups across time and on a collective level. So it's important that we come to understand these pieces in order so that we as nurses can support our own healing and also hold space for those who maybe are in our care and also struggling with those sorts of like previous ancestral pieces that might be coming up. And right now in this time and place, I think this is like really hitting home. We are seeing it with whatever's going on now in Europe, that there's this like kind of a connection or this reigniting of the memories of previous world wars, and a lot of those issues that people faced, our grandparents, great-grandparents, that maybe wasn't even really being talked about. Now it's like coming up in people's awareness. So it's super important we're being gentle with ourselves. Before we get into this whole conversation, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, though, so that you're updated on future video releases. Lots of different conversations to be had about psychedelics, altered states, and healing, and to support us in really bridging ourselves to the new world, this sense of like complete wellness and wholeness in ourselves and collectively. I'm just thinking back to the time I took my sound healing, color sound therapy course. And I will kind of give a short version of this story. I really wasn't planning on taking this course. I had just completed, I think, my Reiki level 3. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I feel like I've been doing lots of things and now I need to integrate. But what ended up happening was there was like my friend who was taking the course, another like classmate of mine, and also my teacher just really like hounding me to take this. They're like, you have to be there, you gotta do it. Like, and things worked out just so beautifully with like dates and times changing and all this accessibility so that I could take this course. So I kind of took that as a sign that maybe I meant to. I mean, I do like sound, so why not learn something else? And it was a great class, except like the first day when we were doing the actual practice of the sound therapy on each other, what happened was I went to like lay down on the table to receive this wonderful like healing. And instead of my like usual, yeah, I'm here to receive, I had like a major like fear response. I sat up, actually. I was like, I don't want this. Like, I can't receive this right now. And I didn't really understand why that was happening. So with some conversation and just really acknowledging my feelings that were coming up, I did end up like receiving, and of course it was lovely because it's sound. It's not like I haven't received sound healing before. So it was all great. And then the interesting thing about it was the next day, I woke up and it's like I had the biggest insight about my family lineage and something that had happened in our family. Like, they had changed our family name quite a few generations previous. It was so that there could be like a fitting in of like our family within like the Anglo-Christian way of being in Nigeria. What I felt instantly that morning from waking up was this sense of like all the shame and all the guilt that came with having the name and with changing the family like traditional Yoruba name. And I was just like in tears. It was amazing. I had no idea that this was there. I'd heard a little bit about like the family name changing, but it's as though the sound, like the vibration, just brought all this awareness into my life. And that it was me recognizing that pain that my ancestors felt, and I was able to like transmute it through this experience of like sound therapy. And the reason I'm sharing this story is to just highlight that there are so many things we have no idea about. And psychedelics, different forms of energy work, the sound, shamanic healing, breath work and meditation, like it could be anything. It could even be connecting to old ways or traditions of your culture and your background that can kind of unlock these keys, right? Or that can kind of unlock these doors to healing our ancestral lineage. And I just feel honored to like be here and to know that these generations before me and generations to come are also a part of this healing process. You know, our ancestors can live through us in some way, and we are here to create those changes. It's really encouraging you to welcome into your life ways in which you can support that family lineage, because ultimately it's going to move the family line forward. Your children, your children's children, 7 generations moving forward, and all those generations moving back. So that sound therapy was really like the big one, I'd say, around understanding and seeing the potential of like the cells holding memory from an ancestral perspective. But these sorts of things happen quite often within psychedelic experiences and plant medicine, through other forms of spiritual sort of supportive ways of like sweat lodge, different forms of fasting, going into ceremony, and they can just be so profound. And we can continually connect with our ancestors through prayer, through just offering them and acknowledging them in so many different ways. And I think it's really important that we do this now. And we also need to be able to hold space to those people that we support in our communities as nurses, you know, your patients, your clients. How are you engaging with them and allowing them to create the spaces for their ancestral lineage? I think that's super important, especially when you're working with people of different cultures and backgrounds. Here in Canada, oftentimes, you know, we have folks coming in who have like First Nation, Inuit background, Métis, and there's like a need for us to connect and understand some of these things from a place of being culturally like attuned and able to support folks to then seek out, you know, their elders and the people like wisdom holders of their tradition. We don't have to give them the answers, but at least create like the safe container for them to be curious about and to obtain that if they so choose. Because I do feel like there's so much healing for the mind, the body, and on that like soul level. So if we can do this, we're gonna just innately create a safer, brighter community around us. And again, that reminder for you to just be gentle with yourself. I think I say this on like all the videos. Have compassion for you, have compassion for you, have compassion for the world around you, for your ancestors, and seek out ways in which you can support them, because they are constantly guiding and supporting you. And you might not see it or, you know that, but I bet you if you look back, you can see little neat like miracles and synchronicities that play out where they're showing themselves to you. So I just invite you to play with that space, whatever that looks like for you. And feel free to let us know in the comments, how is it that you're working with your ancestors? How are they maybe showing up for you right now? I think there is a lot of this happening in this moment, just from conversations I'm having with folks. And again, you're not alone. This is completely a normal part of the experience. So feel free to like and share this video with anyone you think might need to hear this message today. And I look forward to seeing you all in another video very soon. Take care.